Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. All things Middle Earth here with a much anticipated, at least on my part, update to the free-to-play account. We have some big news on something we accomplished during our first season as free-to-play, so I'm excited to look at what the account's looking like, what items we have, the commander respect levels, what the season shaped up to be, at least up to this point, and much more coming up in just 1 second. Okay, to start off, if you're new to the series, I wanted to show you that we are completely free to play here. Haven't bought a single pack of gems. All 6 of them still have the first time purchase bonus. None of the periodic benefits, no construction queue. Again, like the $2 for 10 Madams. It's a great deal, 100% value, they say. Can't do it. We have the season pass still here. We have the $1 for Kumul. We haven't gotten any of it, so we are completely free to play. And I want to start out by looking at our commanders and then our items, and then wrap up looking at the entire season here so you can see what can be done in a season. I don't think we had crazy luck by any means. We did get some luck, but I think we got a pretty average level in terms of full pulls and things like that. So now, starting out, finally, the big reveal is that we have gotten our Khaldun to respect 5. This seemed like it took the longest. Now, the path that I chose to take was to unlock Grima first, and then once after I used all the decorative beast bones to unlock Grima, we then switched over everything to Khaldun. So that was the order I chose to do it in. You could do it in reverse order, but as free to play, I felt like having more commanders was going to be more beneficial, and I think it worked out in the long run. But again, we've got our Khaldun to respect 5 finally. So as you can see, we're happily running the Marshal of the Eastmark tree here with the Easterling tree. So this was, I think, 2 days ago. Haven't had any PvP yet. We are going to be doing a battle for the ring against Mordor very soon, so he'll get some action there, which will be very exciting. So that is probably the pride and joy of the free-to-play, is the R5 Khaldun. Next up, one that I'm also very glad we got, and we got a little while ago, is our Lurtz to R3. He's in the Fellowship of the Ring chest, so if you look over here, we've been able to open 40 of these so far free-to-play. So, you know, if you're going for this, if you're wanting to open all 50 of these Shadows Arise chests, then, you know, at least you can get an idea that totally free-to-play, you know, where we're at right now, at the second to last progression, we have done 40. So you definitely could get to 50 if you got lucky, if you really used all your gems to buy Madams for this, but I would not expect to open all of these, so don't count on this as the guaranteed unlock for him. But the reality is you are going to pull them from the chest as you open, so you're going to get them from here. And again, we were able to get ours on a full pull. We got a full pull on Lurtz while we were going for it, which put him right at R3, which was amazing. So that is Lurtz, and again, we're going to be running the Pursuer and Urkai Firstborn trees for him to the damage dealing build there. Next up, although one that still needs some work, is our Gorbag. Gorbag is one of our 2 starting commanders. You're going to start with Khaldun and Gorbag in either Rune, which we started, or Mordor. Gorbag's ideal respect is going to be at respect 5, where he gets a lot more damage and madness immune for orcs. So he's got some options here, but he's one that will probably end up being a first goal for next season if I had to guess. But still, we've got him at R3, so not a bad thing there as well. Next up, we have our Grima, and in fact, I'm going to give these items I have to Grima because he's next in the list to get to R3. So we've got our Grima at R2. Grima is fantastic at R022, so it's not a bad thing at all. But there is a lot of usability with the Survivor and Prudence trees as well that I'm excited to get to. So that's what our Grima is looking like. Another one that I was not planning on, but I'm very excited for, is the Mouth of Sauron. We did full pull him, so this is another one of those lucky ones. But in terms of getting to respect 3, we used our vouchers for getting rid of items, getting rid of other extra things. Our Lurtz could probably be respect 4, maybe even 5, but it's just not necessary for him. So we started getting rid of the extra unstable oil that you get for Lurtz, and got the respect item for Mouth of Sauron. So as you can see, these are the trees we're running here. I am hoping that before the season ends, I can get him up, you know, into the higher 40s and get some real use out of him at the end. But right now, you know, he's been a fun commander to mess around with, and definitely a surprise to add to the roster. Next up, we have Ugthak, who is our tier 1 pull. We've actually pulled more tier 2s than tier 1s, which I found very interesting. But we do have Ugthak here. And again, if I've used him, it's been to Path. I do think he's actually going to be most usable at his R0-2 with the damage dealing skills and the burn damage skills. So if you are happening to run Ugthak, you don't need high respect to get the best out of him, but I think there are just better commanders to go for. But starting out, it can be fine. But that's Ugthak. And then Ugluk, who we full pulled, who again has been a pather for us. He's, you know, all these 3 commanders, Lurtz, Ugthak, and Ugluk, all have this Pursuer tree which is great, but it seems like they need a little bit more to really get close to where Lurch is at. He does have 3 skills that have to do with Urukai, and you know, there are some. If you run his R3, he does get a few more commander damage skills, but he's missing the main title that makes Lurch really good. But those are the commanders that we have right there on the account, and again, not a very long amount of time here at all. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Next up here are the items that we got. Again, I don't think we got ridiculously lucky. We got our Nightfall from the Red Book, and we got, I think both of these from tips, maybe one from a tip and one was a pull. So not a crazy amount of gold pulls, but this is what we're looking at so far. Again, we've got 4 Easterling Spears with Mounted Might. That's been the story so far this season, which is not a bad thing. I think if I had to pick for like a Khaldun, I would prefer to have Bane of mounted units and get that extra 18% damage against mounted units, but it is what it is. I'm not upset about it. That's a good effect there. So we have those spears. We've got our Warborn battle plate. We do have 2 bone talismans, but we got husbandry and spiked armor. Although everyone knows husbandry is secretly, you know, a very OP perk. But ideally for our Khaldun, we'd love to get that evil men strength. That would be very, very good. So we're gonna keep our eyes up for that. Save those for refinement in a further season. Got the Horseman's Helm with warding, so stun immunity. That one's gonna need higher refinement before it really becomes useful, but it's something we got in the back pocket. And we got a full helm here with Inspire and a number of other purple items. I won't go through every single one and take a whole lot of time, but we did get 5 different bone masks totally, you know, just kept pulling them and not a single one with Hysteria. So if we get a Hysteria bone mask, that's going to be fantastic, and we'll be able to refine that a little bit on our Mouth of Sauron or our Grima. But again, I think we're set up very well. I think for the most part, I'm going to be running blue items and some strengthened purples, but they're going to be low strengthened. So the blue items are still going to be the best for us. Going into season 2 is when we're going to want to hopefully get really going on like a set of purple gear for our best commander. That's when we're going to look at refinement. I mean, I did refine the quilted armor for the melee vigor, which is all right. But you know, if we do get the attack of evil men on the bone talisman, if we get Hysteria on the bone mask, if we get, you know, even for alerts, for example, the flay on the battle axe, that can be refined. So we have a few things depending on what we get that we might be going through and really putting some refinement on to make those commanders even better. One thing I will say is we did not impart wisdom onto any of our commanders yet, although we are getting to the point that we could start doing that with our green gear. So that's something I probably won't look at this point in the season. Again, if you look, we have our Khaldun R5. He's got 2 skill points left, so he's going to be 1 point short of maxing out Iron Guard. So it just depends if you think that is a worthwhile amount of green gear to get an extra skill point, because there are other commanders that you might get more use out of at a lower respect level, so they might benefit from that extra point a little bit more. But we'll probably start looking at that towards the end of the season and into next season in terms of the Master at Arms and the imparting wisdom. And last but not least, here is the map for our season. Now here's how things play out. Now obviously your map could look very different. You could have a very good season, you could have a very bad season. At the end of the day, what commanders you get and what items you have are not going to be dependent on how your faction does. So you can still build up your free-to-play account. You can still do a good job. Again, we started as Rune. We made an alliance with Mordor pretty early on, which ended up being very good for us. So as you can see, we've both done very well on the map and are planning a final showdown for the ring inside of Dol Guldur here. So we're going to have half and half of our forts in here. We're going to have a 24-hour period where from reset to reset the next day, it's open season. We're going to use the north entrance here and the south entrance down here for Mordor. And at the end of the 24 hours, whoever is the last one standing or has the most forts remaining is going to be the winner, in which they'll be allowed to take the ring uncontested and finish up the season. So pretty excited about that. Made some good friends in Mordor, and we're, it was a very, very enjoyable, very chill season. Again, a few things we're working on after the ring are getting 3 capitals. Wanted to see if we, what we could do there. So we're looking at taking Loth's capital in a little bit, and I think we're going to plan on pushing up north to Angmar. At the end of the day, though, it looks like Mordor, I think, has taken there. So I think Mordor does have 3 at this point. So if we take the ring before that, the last one will end. We probably won't push as hard for a third one, but we've got a really active group. Players are enjoying it. I think it's been very respectful thus far. Not a lot of crazy stuff going on. So overall, just a really, really good season, and not what I expected when I started this account. I thought we'd play for a little bit, kind of, we were embagging on my other account, but it turned out to be something the community really, really enjoyed watching. As many of you have said, but also people playing along with us has been very fun as well. So again, This is the free-to-play experience. This is going to be continuing into Season 2. So we'll have a Season 2 live stream. We're going to live stream the PvP with Mordor for the ring. And we're going to make a video coming up soon about plans for Season 2. What commanders we're going to be focusing on. If we're going to go for new ones, if we're going to go for higher respect. All that good stuff. We're just going to focus on gear. We're going to be putting a guide together for a Season 2 free-to-play very shortly. So if you want to stay up to date with that, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. But that's going to do it for me in this one, and I'll see you all in a future video.